Hello and welcome to Aisha's Take on the Headlines. My name is Aisha Yesufu. As usual, we will delve right in. And it's always a funny one, that it's not funny, that it's annoying. It's just unbelievable. But first that we're going to talk about is on the issue of the National Assembly. Rains were pouring in, and some workers were made to clean, and they were cleaning the waters and everything, and you will wonder what happened to the 37 billion naira that was given to the National Assembly for renovation. You know, it's so annoying when you see all these figures being thrown around, being spent, being used up anyhow. These are our monies, but Nigerians that will never ask their elected public officers for accountability will hold private citizens accountable. They will be on your neck. They will disturb you. They will call you in the middle of the night. Somebody will call you 1 million times, as if you are owing him money just because he's asking you to help him with one thing or the other. But yet, they do nothing when politicians are using their monies anyhow. It's so annoying. I'm finding it so annoying that when I see this, I'm like, look, people don't owe you. Your monies are being used anyhow. You don't ask questions, but you come to fellow citizens and you're making demands for them, and you're emotionally blackmailing them. Oh, God said we should help each other, but God also said that our leaders should help us. Why are we not asking them? Anyway, let me not bring my anger on this. Let me just have my take. Anyway, the anger is part of the take on the headline. Honestly, I'm so annoyed. I'm so angry. 37 billion naira. I was even thinking maybe they didn't even give them the money. But I'm saying the headlines are, oh, despite the 37 billion naira that was given to them, the National Assembly is still flooding. So that means no renovation has been done, or it's yet to be done. These are questions that we should be asking, and citizens should be making demands on the people that they put into office and not on fellow citizens. But at the same time, again, when they know they can come to you and ask you for money for their children's school fees, money for their health, money for them to eat, they will tell you they've not eaten all day, and this, and then you're there to give them. Guess what? There's no incentive for them to hold their leaders accountable. We need to begin to do what is known as tough love. Oh yeah, come, let's be on the streets. Let's make demands on those who are using our money anyhow. Then back to the other story. For me, it's, you know, it's one of those stories that it makes me so sad. I don't even find the joy in it, but it's the right thing being done, but it's so saddening. It's on the issue of Farouk Lawan. Oh my goodness. That was a man who had such amazing career, who was looked upon so much. I think he was called Mr. Integrity at one time. And for me, I sincerely believe that if not for this bribe saga, Farouk Lawan would probably have been the governor of Kano State. And he was somebody that was liked all over Nigeria. But then, sadly, he got himself involved in a bribery saga, and it has landed him 7 years in prison. The law might be slow in grinding, but it sure works. One of the for me, the saddest thing is the fact that of all the people that you see, of all the politicians that have involved themselves in corruption, that have one corruption issue or the other, Farouk Lawan is the one that I see who I think was so ashamed of his act that he actually went off the limelight. You could see he really was remorseful about that act. Whether it was his first time, whether it looks like somebody who wasn't used to it, I don't know. I'm not making excuses for him, but I just feel the pain because this was somebody I believed so much in him. He was one of those people, even at the moment where I didn't bother about Nigeria and its issue, I always had like rooted for him. And to see him involved in that saga, it was so disheartening. How much? $600,000. He was asking for $2 million. How much is $2 million? There are rings that they buy for over $2 million. There are handbags that are over $1 million. There are, oh my goodness, oh gosh, it's so sad anyway. But then that's what it is. If you do the crime, you have to do the time. Then we come, Buhari requests Senate approval of 895.84 billion supplementary budget. That's your money. That's the money you should be asking for. That's the money your own money that is being used anyhow, and they'll collect this money. You will not see anything being used. Like we just talked about the 37 billion for National Assembly renovation, that nothing, the roofs are still leaking. So what did you do with that money? So it's our money that it's being used. And it's high time citizens begin to make demands and stop going to fellow citizens to ask for money for feeding, money for school fees, money for health. The state is supposed to do all of these things for you. Court orders federal government to pay Akwa Ibom Rivers $3.3 billion from oil, part of their share of the oil revenue. I mean, yeah, the oil is coming from these places, and it's only fair that they also get the major share, because if Zamfara can keep its gold, why is those states not also keeping their oil? It's as simple as ABCD. But the sad part of it is that you go to these states, you see nothing. Of all the monies they've collected, you don't see anything. That's why, for me, the South governors, I find them very annoying. Otherwise, the South should have been like Dubai, the whatever, Paris, the Londons, whatever of Nigeria. They should be amazing. People from other parts of Nigeria should actually have been going to the South state to want to work there, because the state minimum wage should be way higher than even the federal wage. These are places with small population. It's not big places. You can develop them and make them big. But hey, what do we have? People who are looting them and taking them to London, and yet the people are going after them. And you know, Buhari has been convicted of crime, looting the people's money. His loots have just been returned to Nigeria, but yet he's the one that people will be dancing over, and they'll be carrying their problem to come and meet other people. We need to start that tough love for people to understand that they need to hold people who are taking their monies away accountable. Federal government, ECOWAS court don't tell them, say, using Twitter is our fundamental human right, and there's nothing they can do about it. It's really so annoying when the federal government think that they're going to shut down people's voices. They shut down the physical civil space, and they went to shut down the civic space we have on social media. But the ECOWAS court set up to them to court, and other Nigerians, and the ECOWAS court has said that they do not have a right to prosecute anybody, and it's so irritating. The federal government is insisting that Twitter must come and register in Nigeria. You're wondering, are they doing business in Nigeria? They're insisting, what business are they doing? I don't pay to access Twitter. Does any Nigerian pay to access Twitter? No, we don't. People do business on it. But so you can't say they are doing business as in they are earning money from your place. And then they formed the committee that is going to meet Twitter. They're trying to engage with Twitter. I saw Lai Mohammed saying that, oh, Twitter has said they've not been able to meet them and everything. And in this committee, you have people like Lai Mohammed, Malemi, Pantemi Fashola. A terrorist sympathizer is part of those that are going to meet on your behalf with Twitter. And the committee, somebody I saw on Twitter where somebody said the average age of the committee was 57. 57 was the average age. And guess what is the average age of users of Twitter and all of that? Way decades less than that 57. And how are you going to engage on things you don't even know how it works? It's really so sometimes these things are so annoying. And then so we are here, we are waiting. And then, of course, I saw that, you know, Lai Mohammed is talking about they are also threatening Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, that they will shut them down if blah, 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 if they don't, if they keep being, where, I can't even remember the English. It wasn't even worth hearing. I just like, these people do not even understand how these things work. It's so sad, the kind of people that we have in offices. And I think in 2023, we all should do better and insist that we get people who know what they're doing right in office. This fear of, oh, if it's not APC or PDP, I can't vote anywhere, is the reason why we have all of these people who are not supposed to be in power, and they keep rewarding their failure and their incompetence. And that has to stop. Back to the next thing here, we have NLC is set down again to shut down Kaduna. I think the talks have broken down. You just wonder, NLC does not even understand its power. If it really understood its power, most of the things that are happening today really wouldn't be happening. And you see the what do you call him now? The Erufai that is smart is I don't blame him. It's because of the kind of people in NLC. We're not saying what you're doing. Yes, you can. I totally believe in reduction of the workforce that we have, because one of the things that it's a welfare system. Our what do you call it now? Civil how do you call it now? The civil servant, this thing. it's almost like a welfare system, because we have so many people that really aren't supposed to be at work. You don't need them. You have people, they don't have anything to do. We just packing people and there's no efficiency and all of that. You have to cut it. But there's a way you cut it. There's a way you do things in a diplomatic manner. There's a way you do things with a human face. Whatever policy you're putting out there, you have to look at how rational is that policy? What, for the greater good, how is it? Not to just go, oh, boom, 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 this is the way it is bad. No, you must, every government must have a human face, and that's how you deal with issues. Explain it to the people, face it out in a way that it's not too drastic, but at least people also find where they're going to. If you need to rejig, if you need to send people to certain areas, you have to cut down the civil service. It's too humongous and it's too expensive and it's not giving you, it's not most efficient. Totally agree with that. But the approach should be done with a human face and not with this arrogance that El-Rufai is carrying out all over the place. So, and I'll say, feel free, do whatever you need to do, just get your ass together. But after all of that, remember that it's not always just about good, what do you call it now, always just about wages and salary increment and all of that. Sometimes fight for good governance, accountability, and transparency. When you do that, we won't care about how much the wages are. If people have schools that are free, public schools that are free, they won't be paying school fees. So whatever salary they won't be taking from their salary. If people can access health care without going somewhere else, having to go to private hospitals, their salaries, I mean, it's a whole, we'll do a video on that anyway. Then the next thing, Buhari, has put together a committee to fight poverty. Let him remove himself. He's the main poverty bringer. He's the poverty harbinger. Buhari himself should just take himself up. Imagine forming committee to do this. Do the right thing. Give people good governance, accountability. Give people an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. Put the right people in places. You will see the economy will no longer be contracted, it will be expanding, and then people will get things to do. You're shutting down Twitter. You say you're fighting poverty, but you're shutting down where people are able to get form niches for themselves and able to make money and all of that. Sad one, tankers explode on Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Very gory images are coming out from there. Federal government names Buratai envoy to Benin, and Olani sacking to Cameroon. For those who don't know, these are the service chiefs that were just removed. Absolute failure, who had just been removed, and then they were made to be diplomats, and they were how do they even call it? Non-career diplomats. They were what's the word now? They were, it's not choosy, I'm looking for the word. Anyway, I don't have time. But the thing for me is the fact that especially for Buratai, this was somebody who was the procurement director during Jonathan, when money were looted that were meant to fight the war, were looted with the Dasuki and everything. And he was a procurement director. He was made the chief of army staff. He had houses in Dubai, and then they said, oh, he had the houses in Dubai are worth millions of dollars. They say he had a farm and all of that. And then they came back and they made him chief of army staff. Now he failed totally in fighting insurgency and insecurity. And now he's also a diplomat. Can you beat that? Rewarding failure, and you expect anything good to come out of it. Okay, then this one, Malemi failed to offer proper advice, says Sage. He says the Land Use Act is superior to Gazette. I think on that one, I just saw the headline, I didn't read the story, but I think it's on the issue where Buhari is talking about the fact that they are going to go back to the open grazing route. That man of the 1963 grazing route. Really? Is he going to go back to 1963 population? In 1963, I don't believe he was married. I don't believe he had children. I don't believe. So is he going to remove all of us? I wasn't even born 1963. I was born a decade later. Is he going to remove all of us to be able to have this grazing route? Like my husband said, oh my God, I love that man. I love my husband so much. And he was saying that, he said, okay, so if they're talking about the 1963 grazing route, and then Aso Villa is on the grazing route, is he going to remove the Aso Villa or the whole of Abuja Park? Because there wasn't anything in Abuja practically in 1963. Is he going to remove all of us in Abuja and then make it a grazing route? That man is living in a la-la land. And Nigerians are giving him, by just allowing him to be there and continue to waste our lives, giving him an enabling environment to keep doing all the nonsense that he's doing at the villa as the leader and commander-in-chief. It's so sad. But anyway, that is it. That's the headlines for today, 23rd of 2010. Bye.